Yes, we are starting chapter 14 in a second. That's nice. That is a banger soundtrack that you're not hearing, but it's a banger soundtrack. Okay, this has a banger soundtrack, so that is cool. Actually, does this have a trailer? Did I guess maybe it does not have a trailer. I at least don't see anything to click here. I might have clicked chapter 40 in the past once. We have hidden font on this secret place that we unlock in time. That's cool. I love my secret place. Prepare to seek the ending. Well, we will win the war against the Sarkas, and then I don't know what the hell you're gonna do to Farisa, but Farisa and the doctor will hug or something for sure. And I guess Mia's gonna get her next altar doing this, right? Yippee! Not every meeting has a beautiful ending, Mia. A lot of stories end suddenly. A lot of stories keep us tossing and turning in our beds. Some stories end with a long, long sigh. In a wilderness without end, people meet and go their separate ways. At a crucial moment when we cross paths. No one knows if we should really be saying such solemn goodbyes. Guess was Farisa? Guessing who the speaker is always fun for me. Yeah, it was Farisa. Come in. Oh, we get more smaller Mia. Did Baker already got eaten? I don't think Baker got eaten. Farisa, you're back! Mia? What's the matter? Look what time it is. It's fine, it's fine. I mean, everybody knows that bagels are there to be eaten, right? You should be in bed if you don't want Calcite getting angry with you. She's gonna send monster at you. I know, but I can't sleep. Want me to sleep with you? Aw. It's okay. If you still have work to do, Amiya just doesn't have her game with MILFs yet as a mage, but I understand it's your mom. You've been waiting for me all day, haven't you? Did something happen? Nope, everyone been very nice to me. And I'm keeping up with my homework too. I finished all the assignments Dr. Calcite gave me. Oh yeah, you finished chapter 15. You actually have seen, you have encountered actual monster. I wish this was me. But I know you've been really busy and shouldn't bother you, but I don't know why. I really wanted to see you today. Is that right? Come on, Mia. I'm here. Visa kneels down and tugs Amiya. No idea what you're talking about. I'm here for you now. Alright. I saw you standing here, waiting by yourself while everybody else was gone for so long. I still remember the look on your face. I don't get it. Are you worried about something? Isn't everyone saying we're about to win? Yeah, but then we're gonna get betrayed by your father, don't worry. Yes, there's always good news. Our fighters captured another town. We advance our position once more. Castle, our home, is closer than ever. But Amiya, Barbara has a very long journey ahead of us. Our goal is so far away. I don't actually even know if we're still sailing toward our original destination. Reese lets out a brief sigh and looks into the distance. Mia follows Visa's gaze but finds nothing. Barbel does not exist to win victories. It never has. Victories and scars go hand in hand, and those scars are far more difficult than we ever anticipated to heal. Turns out, people kinda remember racism. Or rather, can they even be healed? Visa's voice is very soft, almost like a dream melted away in water, as a cloud of mist rises. The momentary smile that she had before now seems distant and tasty. The young countess girl thinks that, for a moment or two, the woman holding her hand all this time almost seemed to have disappeared into the mist herself. And so Amiya makes the effort to stand on her tiptoes and stretches her hand out. The young girl's soft fingertips touch the forehead between the eyes of the king of Sarkas. She tries to smooth those knitted paws. They can't. They will. Misa, I still remember what you told me. Perhaps one day, you'll be able to let everyone on this vast land fall into peaceful slumber. Right. That includes you. And me. Go on, Mia. First have time to talk about the future. Will you stay up all night? You won't be getting any taller. What are you going to do if you're still a teeny tiny bean by the time Woods Island is partly sailing across the vast lands? Well, she's still kinda a tiny bean. If I point my ears up, I look taller, won't I? I mean, that's at least like being one head taller. Being a tortoise is like cheating. You really don't want to go back to your room, don't you? I'm not being naughty, I'm just... Alright, let's not tell Calcite then. I can stay a little longer. It's been a while since I told you a story, hasn't it? It's okay, I just remember all the stories you told me. Long time ago, there was a great big desert. and a tiny little doll made of sackcloth. The puppet swore he would cross the desert to find legendary plains of hope. But he never told me how the story ends. Oh, that one, huh? There are a lot of scary things out there in the desert. If I were to tell you, you'd never sleep again. I'm not scared of them. Besides, with you telling the story, I'm sure we'll have a nice ending. There was one story without one. Alright. The desert. It was so vast and wide, like there was no end to it. Our little puppet had been through many great adventures, and at last, he made it. The goal was right in front of him. The Plains of Hope. What were the plains like? Not the Plains of Hope. Don't you like the Plains of Hope? The kind of place that anyone would like to call home. The kind of places all the carrot pies I could eat? That is paradise, let's go. Imagine. Imagine. With everybody on the land ship there too? Maybe. But things are never that easy in these stories. He still had to overcome the last obstacle that stood in his way. The desert was very cold, and the wind there never stopped. In the light of the twin moons, there seemed to be some black-cloaked shadows whispering to themselves. But the moment he looked for them, disappeared. What were the black-cloaked shadows? They were the echoes of the oldest despair and sadness. If they catch you, you'll never escape them. Ah, not spooky at all. The shadows whispered among themselves and laid trap after trap to stop the puppet. The black-cloaked shadows didn't want to let the puppet make it any further. They did everything they could to try to get him to turn around. Because if the puppet made it to the desert, hope would start to spread their way, and they would disappear. Well, it's kinda rude to just kill the spirits, even if they're evil, haunting spirits. But the puppet didn't know that. His goal never once changed. The puppet made it past the traps and foiled their plans. All the tricks they had up their sleeves had failed. They were furious and decided they weren't going to hide anymore. They were going to duke it out with the puppet and fight him to the death. When he saw the shadows rushing toward him, the puppet took out a long spear made of needle and some threads. Then he... Visa, when did they become the echoes of despair and sadness? When it aligned thematically with what is happening around you, Amiya. Any more questions? Well, about that. Did they catch Urpathy? No, said Amiya. And the pain kept them up at night? Then maybe the puppet could cure them. Just like what he and Dr. Calcite want to do. Cure them. If the puppet cured them and turned them into happy and peaceful shadows, everybody could go to the Plains of Hope together, right? Man. The innocence of a child. Were they born baddies who like to scare people? Oh dear, of course not. Puppet found out that all had wounds on their bodies. It was the wounds that turned them into who they were. Couldn't he fix them up with his needle and thread? Just like what you always do. Maybe. Perhaps it's worth a try. Aww. Sleepy? No, I'm not. Did he do it? Puppet tried over and over. The statues were thick and ugly. The black-cloaked shadows were livid. But what happened next? Maybe peace and happiness don't really come so easily. But in the end, they decided to let the puppet go. That reminds me of that one meme song. The black-cloaked shadows watched the puppet walk into the distance. Decided to let the puppet give it a shot, but Big River stood before him. He didn't even know how wide it was. All he knew was that he couldn't see the other side of the river. He knew that the Plains of Hope were on the other side. There weren't any boats nearby. There wasn't even a decently sized pond. What I do now? That is where you get a big man. I forgot his name, but you give him his stones and he can swim you. It's that easy. Man, I should play more Expedition 33. I actually did. But since the last time I mentioned Expedition 33, I played a little bit more. And I got the walk. And my Gustavo. My poor Gustavo, man. Puppet thought to himself. He decided to see if he could swim across. But he's a cloth puppet. Right, he was made of cloth. If he got wet, he would only get heavier and heavier till he sank to the bottom of the river. What if he stopped here? His journey would have been for nothing. He leapt into the water and found that the river was cold and salty, like tears. Apparently a lot of people across the lands wanted to go to those plains, but not one of them succeeded. It was their tears that formed this river. Puppet finally understood just how many people shed tears over this. Shoo. The puppet swam and swam. He felt his body slowly soaking up the tears. The other side of the river really exists. Perhaps the shadows were right. It was called the Plains of Hope, because no one could fully make it there. People speak different languages. Their hearts are not connected. Man, if only nobody ever built the Tower of Babel, huh? Home. Home. But the river meant that there must also be a source to return to. Sleep soundly, Amir. Good night. Mia has no idea how she got back to her room. Man, she just learned how to teleport. That night, she slept very soundly. Did the puppet make it across the shore? What happened in the end? Irene suddenly appeared. Just like that, the two sides have lost contact. Amir? Ah, Doctor, when did you get back? Is everyone waiting for me? I'm sorry, I just need a minute. You did well. Yeah! It's okay, Doctor. I'm all ready. Let's head over there together. We do now have our space where we can attack with. We're about ready for departure. Every one of us has to leave Brentwood. Good thing these bones are large enough for us all to fit. The military commission must already have caught wind that we've taken control of the town and the live bone. Goes without saying that the skeleton is of tremendous importance. The counter-offensive might already be on the way. Perhaps the Sakas are watching over every move as we speak. Ever since the Rapid Tactical Unit, Wishling, took to the skies, it's always felt like somebody's been watching us in the mist. It's unnerving. Oh yeah, I wonder what is actually the gimmick for Chapter 15. I wouldn't know from the top of my head what it is. Or at least I cannot really guess from the gimmicks I know that exist for Myers and stuff like that. At least not anything I would connect to this so far. The battle will only get more dangerous from here on out. We all know that. The Exemplars will not give up their counter-offensive on Londinium. We have no other choice. Cursed people have endured this long enough already. Good thing we seized the skeleton. Under ideal conditions, it will serve as a temporary stronghold. The wounded and civilians will also get to settle down a little. Besides, if what Hilda said is true, you can teleport anywhere. Also, it might make the users nauseous. I forgot. It's fine. I will see, hopefully. I mean, it would go wide if we would get to do at least one stage today. You know, maybe that's my goal. Maybe I want to stop a little bit sooner than making it later. No, playing Destiny could be cool. Also, maybe annoying Olsey could be cool. Why wouldn't the military commission defend such an important transport to the death? Because they don't need it anymore. Perhaps they gave up because of the pressure of the battlefield. Perhaps Dukavir, Sankanach, underestimated his enemies. But it's more likely that the plan Londinium has already reached a stage where we can't afford to worry about anything happening outside. Sankanach still completed his final vigil. That may be exactly why they turned their gaze not to the Liveborn, but somewhere else. But it was finished negotiating with the consciousness left in the skeleton. It will, yes, listen to our proposal. With its help, we'll be able to return to the battlefield at any moment. Most importantly, it gave us an opportunity to get close to the airship and the shard. Make use of the swamp cart well. Just maybe we'll be able to mount a burn assault on Central Londinium. Take out the headquarters directly. Good. I like that. Holy shit. Cool. You are cool. Hi, Olsey. How are you doing? Are you committing Arbeitszeitbetrug right now? The area around the shard is heavily guarded, and my guess is that the military commission's airship won't let us hover over their heads without a fight. That's a good guess. I would also assume that the enemy will shoot us if we get too close. All we can do is find an opening for our strike team to enter, and as soon as they've made it in, we have the Liveborn depart. That means the strike team can't retreat. No, Marcy, I have a feeling that Olsey will not be playing Destiny, but At the same time, we still have to get to the bottom of what's been bothering Amir. What exactly are the suckers planning? We should cool live stream. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a cool stream, but it's a live stream. And how to foil the little Twix. Get Lyra and Ark to write me, maybe get me to play it. I mean, I'm all up for playing Destiny with you too, Olsey. We won't be able to take the shard with this little time by ourselves, but we still have friends inside that massive city. We need to get in touch with them. According to our intelligence, there likely aren't many combatants stationed inside the shard. Oh, mouse! Fuck. Hey. Based on my experience fighting the commander, if a Visus. Mia, what would you say our chances are? We can take Vervisus in a fight. No, we should avoid a direct confrontation with him at all costs. No one's strong enough to single-handedly defeat Vervisus. Besides, our greatest threat right now is not a single powerful Sarkaz hero. Rather, it's the ambition to see their plans come to fruition. We will only be able to end this war quickly by stopping it from happening. These squads in their own can't end the war. Still need a Victorian military. I saw that the Duke of Windermere perishing on the front lines is beyond what any of us might have. Oh. Forgive me, Lady Delphine. Standing beside you now is an intelligence officer in the service of Duke Windermere. Not her daughter. But you are basically the Duke. Pay me no mind. The Duke of Windermere's untimely passing has disrupted the fragile balance on the outskirts of Londinium. They are on the brink of war. Until a few weeks ago, I was still under the impression that if the Dukes were to put their minds to it and attack Londinium together, Sarkar's defeat would have been all but assured. Man, they have maybe underestimated them for far too long. Maybe you should not infight forever. This will be a decisive battle, one far worse than what any of the bigwigs have been anticipating. I'd like to say they wish this happened themselves, but it's the frontline soldiers and innocent citizens who are suffering right now. So, when the time comes, who is going to win? Us? The Exemplars? Or the Dukes? Oh, sorry. I guess I should be asking that before the information. That's like jinxing it. You know, before going to war, you should not go like, man, I sure wonder who's gonna win, us or the enemy. It's fine. I know what it is you're worried about. But there's no need to worry. A great many people stood up, raised their heads, and woke from their dreams because of this calamity, whether willingly or forced. We are far from the only ones. We need to focus on the problem at hand. How to break through the battlefield for our Londinian counter-offensive, as well as how to stop the Shard's strikes. Right. I'm with the doctor. The next part probably has something to do with Originum. Originum is never important. It's very likely that they will apply ancient Sarkar's research on Originum. Taking the battlefield head-on is our one and only choice. Received the transmission indicating we have several Rhodes Island support teams on the way. Let's go. Is that the cinematic moment after like... I guess it's like after 4 years of that gacha game, right? Where like everyone comes together and beats up the Sarkars. Even the Sarkars are there to beat up the Sarkars. There are many things we will only be able to accomplish here as Rhodes Island. I will see our strategy executed flawlessly and put the Squires behind us. It seems none of us have any objections, that being the case. Everyone turns to Amiya. Suddenly, feel a hint of relief, gratification, excitement, and pride. After all, you are standing right beside her. I've raised her, okay? I deserve this. She's my daughter. Look at her. This war has come to a head. Verweeses intends to use some more decisive and forceful means to tear Victoria to shreds. This has nothing to do with whether the Sarkars fully have a right to revenge. It has nothing to do with whether the nobles may bear this heavy burden for Victoria. Solve all our problems by destroying our enemies. Then this land, plagued by war from the beginning, has no hope. The Confessari and Verweeses are there, at the heart of Londinium, toppling this empire standing on shaky ground. I will go to them, and I will stop them. For that future, and for the future of all. And then everybody clapped. Oh, why? They forgot that we even said W with us. What? Was it chapter 14 when did Wizardel release? I know it was basically for, you know, in a limited banner and everything, but did that limited banner release like with chapter 14? Because I know that they also do sometimes limited banners with new chapter drops, right? And I guess we will see. Isn't a big gap like this a waste? We got some real juicy explosives from closure. Enough to pack every corner of this place full. Heh. They're still cooking up stupid ideas like mounting an attack on Londinium. This is a military commission we're talking about. Who knows what tricks Verweeses got up his sleeve? So, bomb the place! Wait up! Why do you think the military commission went through all the trouble to hide a skeleton, instead of treating it as a second airship? This thing is fragile. It's only thanks to the witchcraft device that he can communicate with the Fairmood's lingering threat of life. An attack, no matter how weak, could spell the end of it. You think I'm talking about dropping bombs out of it? I'm saying let's make it the bomb. You cannot do it to that. Come on, that's rude. A bomb that can fly just about anywhere at once. That can fly to right into Favisa's face at any moment. The perfect bomb. I guess W would be the kind of person to fly an airplane into a skyscraper, huh? What? Is he thinking about letting it take us back to Castle? If we don't deal with Favises, we aren't going anywhere. Let's take the simplest path to solving our problems here. Got something to share with the class? Nothing at all, but I didn't expect to see you so tense. Should I teach you a few deep breathing techniques? Huh? Whatever, W. Get in the right frame of mind for this operation. Otherwise, no amount of explosives is going to fix what's going on in your head. That just means you're gonna need even more bombs. You say so. Ines? What? Remember when we ran into the Lich the other day? Never mind. Forget it. You're wondering whether the Teresa out there's real or not again, aren't you? Enough of that already. I'm not the one you need to convince. I wasn't the one who called her fake first either. Did I ever tell you your arts are disgusting? I didn't need to read your shadow. You've been pretty anxious for a while now. What will you do if you run into her again? Explosions, bombs. I told you, it's a fake. I'm gonna kill it and be done with this. And then I will cry. What if it's not? I will drink and stretch. Thank you, Olsey. So why don't you guys stream Destiny? We should also stream more Destiny at some point. But, I mean, it's a mixture of... I mean, I still also want to stream Arknights, and hey, I guess I could actually, if I want to, since I should have the afternoon V tomorrow before the stream with you, Olsey. I guess we if Musty and Ark have time tomorrow, then we could do that. But yeah, it's sadly my time is limited. I would love to also just stream more Destiny, but also Arknights and streaming with Olsey, the Olsey boy TM. You know, the famous VTuber, the hottest VTuber. And then also some state aspiring together. And then I need to do my role playing, and that's... Why does the week only have 7 days? I don't get it. I need more time in my life. Anyways, then I will rescue her and get to the bottom of everything. That's Favisa. I know. I think you don't. You haven't figured out how to treat Favisa, how to handle an enemy leader. That's a taboo. You know it far better than I do. And beep. Ines, you know what pisses me off the most? I remember a lot of stuff. I remember the crystal on the head of the old fart who taught me how to make explosive. I remember the prices on your heads. I remember how Her Highness wrestled with that door. How Calcite once got her hair caught in the same door. What the heck? You know, maybe they should have gotten a different door. I remember all these things that don't fucking matter. Don't remember. I can't for the life of me remember when the last time I saw her was, or even what we talked about. Yeah. I barely ever had a normal conversation with her. There's so many of us on the ship. Our small potatoes. And she was Babel's chairman. That was probably a joke. Some silly complaint or nagging. But it definitely wasn't a goodbye. This time, I make up for that and say it. Then I won't forget. Anyways, I've gotta get my mercs checking over the equipment. It's gonna be one hell of a job. Whatever you say. But if your legs give out on you and you need somebody to give you a good kick in the ass, you know who to call. Yeah. This nightmare's gone on long enough. We should be looking straight ahead. Into the future we go for sure. After we kill everyone we hold dear. All preparations are complete. The airship is ready to take flight. Yes. It will all be over soon. Come, walk with me one last time, Theresis. Very well. The Military Commission of Kassel has secretly constructed airship docks just like this one in the support years of several sectors throughout Londinium. This is the largest among them, and this is where the airship was born. The ship is seen as a terrifying weapon of war, a herald of destruction, and a flying fortress. But very few are aware of the original intent behind the airship's construction. It is to uncover a buried secret. And beyond that, it is to break free of an eternal shackle. The father and sister are walking in the great ship dock, down a long passageway. Every Sarkas they pass stops and greets the two of them. When was the last time they had a nice walk like this together? Thinking about it, compared to the amount of time they have spent together, the days that have passed is nothing. But they were also long enough. What's on your mind, Favisa? I suddenly remembered that when Kassel was rebuilt into the Magic City, I stood next to each other on the city walls, shoulder to shoulder, just like this. It was supposed to be a happy day, but then it waned. Some said it was a bad omen. I also remember how the soul furnace flames looked all the brighter in the rain. And there's more. I'm suddenly remembering so much. It's been too long. I'm still also curious how this Favisa actually works. I guess she does have old memories and everything. It has been too long indeed. From castle to castle, our goal lies right before us. There's but one last step in our plan. Those who walk after us will find a great city standing tall up in this land. We Sarkas will do as we wish, seizing control of our own fate. I need you. Yes, I know. The warriors who once firmly believed in your path, the girl who is called the King of Sarkas, they've all come before you now. Of course they came. I've always believed they would. Aww. What? In the end, is she gonna, like, do funny betrayal things? Have you decided how you will confront them? I've never once been confused, but I had hoped that this day would take longer to arrive. Now that it's come to this, I actually feel that's made it those I should have had faith in. Jesus, I'm delighted. I'm delighted that even after we made this decision, you're still willing to stand up against us. I mean, It's kind of the outcome you wanted to happen, right? Otherwise you would have mind-wiped goddamn doctor. They're decisive and strong, and they're growing at an unimaginable pace. Perhaps they will make their way to you in the end. You may be much stronger now than the woman I was. The one who couldn't accomplish anything. I'm looking forward to it. And it's time for me to leave too. Theresa steps into the airship's gangway, while Theresa remains where he stands, quietly watching her. Theresa, this time, we should bid each other a proper farewell. Why are we saying so many goodbyes already? It's the start of the chapter. Theresa reaches her hand out and smooths out the creases on Theresa's cloak. Cloak. I can read. Goodbye. Goodbye. The silence lasts until the steel door closes, and its thick shadow shrouds the two of them. Say nothing more. The pulsing of the myriad souls is ceaseless. Theresa lightly closes her eyes to bear with its surge. Endless murmurs are like the tide. It exhausts, it affects those within it ever downward, and it suffocates. Perhaps within it once existed brief moments of happiness, or the occasional delight. There's simply too much pain, so much that the pain permeates every word and sentence. Oh, myriad souls. Even though I have almost completely exhausted myself, I still cannot see the other side. Shattered hearts abound on these lands. And so, even if I have only grief at my disposal, even if my body was void of tears, be my oar and be my ark. Ark Umi mentioned? He's in this video game? Let tears carry tears, and let suffering lift up suffering. It's time that we set sail. Lucas is examining the bone whistle in his hands. He knows every pattern carved into it, and every wear and tear on its surface. I wonder how often did he actually whistle it. He remembers receiving this from his mother, when he was still a small child. The sound was not nearly as sonorous and vivid as it is now. Ah. So this is a Banshee's bone whistle. It's my first time seeing the real thing. Banshees are a rare sight among mercenaries to begin with, much less one with a bone whistle. That's that. I've heard plenty of stories about bone whistle. It's a symbol of terror. Its sound foretells death's pursuit. The Banshees portend death, and willingly serve as embodiment of death and danger. But I rarely ever saw you use the whistle. Not at Babel all those years ago, or at Woods Island now. He only saves it for very important circumstances. The vampire accused you of rejecting the power of your bloodline. It already sounded. It need not sound again. Metaphors about death itself are a dime a dozen. But what comes after death? The eternal bliss of nothingness. True, the Banshees portend death, but nothing more. If death wasn't the end of all beings, there's more than nothingness after the toll of the death knell. Then this foretelling would have been meaningless. That's why I set down the bone whistles for bone pens. We became nerds. New meaning is born from the pen's tips, while the past is only recorded by the same tips. This is why we stand together now, Höderer. We touch tips. Is that right? Yes, toward the other side of death. Rebirth! It matters not what Theresis intends to accomplish. This war will not and cannot be allowed to develop into a raging fire that destroys the Sakas, as history has seen countless times before. Having burned for so long, this hatred cannot be easily extinguished. We can stop it from engulfing all souls upon these lands. That includes each and every race there is. Dr. Liver, hold on tight. The final battle is able to begin. Femoid skeleton wiggles its body and once again dives straight into history. Oh, I didn't think it would start off like that quickly. Are we just teleporting in? The fragments of time are like bubbles in a muddled stream. After they pick up, the remains are still vague and indistinct. Amiya feels the rippling space-time rushing past her. You look at her and see her eyelashes twitching. What exactly does she see? Perhaps nothing more than reflections passing by, or fleeting hallucinations. The distance between memories and history is always much longer than we expect. Yeah, it goes. It does look kinda cool. I like the design of this there. So I guess sadly it will probably perish. But I do love my space whale skeleton. Countless sceneries, both ancient and modern, sweep by under the Fairmoon's fame. Those who find themselves within this are astonished by this advancement or regression of times. The disasters that unfold before them, and the happiness in their hands. But when looking upon them from high above, perhaps these sights have never actually changed. Then the illusion grows much stranger and more twisted. The seed is rapidly absorbing nutrients, it writhes, whimpers, trying to tear away all fabricated representation. This creation, far beyond human comprehension, waits silently. The slightest movement is enough to rend a continent and allow the crystals to proliferate. That goes. No, this isn't right. This isn't the Fairmoon's power. The sky. The entire sky is burning red. That they used the shard. That would make sense if... The lifeboat is out of control. It's being pulled out of its original course. Are we under attack? Prepare to meet the enemy. Guard the entrances to all cabins. Watch for attacking aircraft. We're preparing anti-boarding measures. All non-combatants, retreat to your shelters. Mercs, fan out. Don't let any tooling moments onto the ship. Any damage reports? I'm checking, but what's going on? This makes no sense. The sensors I set up are reading normal. The skeleton's not damaged at all. Just got word from the observation post. We spotted no enemies. Because they're in the future or something? Eh? We're losing altitude. I can control it. What the f*** is happening? Isn't the skeleton your best friend, Theodore? Get it to chill out. Theodore, can you trust the course at all? You mustn't land in the center of the battlefield. I'm trying. Back up, everybody! Rely on getting flung out to the gaps in the bones. I mean, they surely installed some railings, right? I've sent out all my drones to try to pull the Fairmoon's bones back and reduce the impact of the crash. Don't get your hopes up, though. Well, the descent isn't slowing. Going by the current speed, you'll hit the ground very soon. The meaning of language shall grind us wings. I command these words to lift this weight. Okay, you cannot tell me that how the hell does Locust carry the whole whale? It's working? Keep chanting your incantations, Banshee. Hudva, keep steering us north. There's a valley there. We should fit right in. I'm on it. But my link with the Fairmoon is fading. Can't control it much longer. Monster? Me. Attack the doctor. Prepare for impact. Me. That's not exactly comfy. I mean, just you wait. There will be monster stonks. Hacking monster will be kinda comfy. Calm down, Doctor. We'll be fine. Amiya, how are things going over? All the wounded and civilians have been relocated. Weiss and Wok-Wok are working on getting their transport secured. Got it. Ines, my Max have anything to say? You're all here with me. Working on getting some witchcraft going. I need a little more time. Should be able to withstand half the impact's force. I heard that these bones won't shatter here. Valley's inside. My angle's not quite there yet. You need to turn left by another 20 degrees. That's time for adjustments. 20 degrees, I'm certain of it. I've flown before. All hands, face for impact. Rest comes down to luck. 10 seconds to impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time to get thrown into actual chaos. And yeah, we can set it immediately to adverse again. Let's go. I still feel like this. Why is this not a feature for like everything to just do the challenge at start without having to do the stage once before? Version of all has been revealed, and all shall return to it. Witch and Pollution continuously deals 2 damage units on it and greatly reduce the SP recovery. The Storm deals 2 damage units in its area every second and reduces the SP recovery. Enemy movement speed increase and some enemies will differ. Okay. I guess that's the mechanic? I guess it's very straightforward, so there wasn't even a tutorial for it, but just don't stand in Stinky. Am I getting that right? I feel like I'm getting this right. Who do we send these days in? Maybe we think Monster having more healers might be good in situations like this. We still have Savia for that too, though. Who else could we bring? I still really need to get Sakiko's Watch. I think Sakiko just becomes so much better with it. That I realized for sure. Yes, we could pick Lapland, but I don't think we need to. I guess that's fine. I do like bringing Monster too. 30 minutes earlier. Under construction. Highbury Borough, Londinium. You're back. Our things up top. Same as ever, maybe worse. I used to be scared of those devil mercenaries who ask you for a smoke. The worst you'll get is a slap on the face if they feel like it. But now? I saw monsters you can't even describe that'll turn you into a puddle of blood without so much as blinking. Man, maybe you should have supported the resistance better. You know what? I've been sleeping better, because I know there's nothing but death if I run into one of them. It's like I'm still keeping workers off the streets. Didn't see anything. I didn't dare go too far. Doesn't seem like the Psychers are interested in running the city anymore. There's no one maintaining public order. Time to loot! Yippee! They couldn't fully occupy Londinium, could they? What use is it to them? Are they really planning to drive the Victorian capital all the way back to Castle? Who knows? Honestly, I haven't a clue what they're trying to do. Why go through so much trouble if you just want to kill everyone? Let's go through again. Oh, sad. Those who betrayed their friends for a better future are soon betrayed by the better future. No one expected things to turn out like this. You know we didn't mean to. You wanted to sell her out. Let me guess. You mean us no harm, but handed us to the defense forces out of fear. How kind and gentle. You all deserve a medal. Catherine, we... Save it. I don't have time to dig up old grudges. I would help anything anyway. At least you didn't gift wrap my head and thighs and give them to the Sarkas. The question is, what do we do now? We can hide here. We know the underground passage is better than the Sarkas. That's your plan, Tommy? Live underground for the rest of your life like a typey beast? Why don't you just go hide in a coffin then? I don't blame you for what you did. Given a choice, no one wants to go to war. But war is here now, right here in our homes. There's nowhere to run. Went to a few fellows who said they could get us some decent weapons, I reckon. Is that thunder? Rain would be really nice right now. Why is it shaking? A Sundinium on the move. But the mobility level is... Something's not right. Let's head up and see what's happening. Be careful. What is it, Catherine? You're blocking the window. Massive silhouette of the shard is just visible from here. The most familiar sight and the pride of all who call Londinium home. The annoying yet comforting blankets of clouds above are nowhere to be seen. Wait, what's that on top of the shard? Take all our supplies and contact everyone we can. We need to move deep underground now. Hurry! "15 minutes earlier. Silver Rock Bluffs, Londinium outskirts. We're approaching Silver Rock Bluffs. That means the attacks will start soon. When I first heard Wellington's plan a few days ago, you know what my initial reaction was. You thought it was too ambitious, you Quace? Ambitious? I think you mean crazy. Yes, crazy. He wants the entire Allied forces committed to the front lines. 13 dreadnoughts, 45 assault ships, 172 gunboats, 86 transports, and support ships. All our artillery, and 180,000 infantry, including the entire reserves. Man, I'm not sure if it's good or bad to just basically publicly, I guess not that publicly, just speak out your full force potential. But good to know. It wasn't an inquiry or request, it was a notice, almost an order. The Duke of Wellington has also abandoned the traditional Gaulish formation of multiple battle lines, and instead having all fleets from single files to penetrate the Nachtseher line all at once. Gododin and our forces are to be responsible for fire support and clearing out casters in the Sarkas rear, while Wellington's vanguard charges at the center of the Nachtseher formation. Silver Rock Bluffs, currently under Sarkas control, is a key pass between the Redmane Mountains and the Duskglow River, and a highly defensible position. The enemy can easily retreat to a Londinium, even if we win the battle. I would have staunchly opposed the plan. It was not Wellington who proposed it. Also, what the hell? How does this actually work? I mean, the head I understand, but like, the chains in the middle of the face and everything, that seems uncomfy. I mean, you guess you have to cool emerald and stuff, but man, no, probably could wear this differently, right? But you and the rest of the High Commanders eventually consented to it. We've seen similar tactics in the military academies. We had the same tactics used in the legendary Battle of the War of the Four Nations, which Duke Wellington fought. Victoria and Lifenian lines split the Gaulish lines into three and squashed the resistance. That battle put Victorian on a new course for the next several decades. Glorious as it may be, the best part is no place to find refuge in. Do you also think the Iron Duke has grown old? Wellington is a military genius, but he's not the doctor from Woods Island. We should hire them instead. He commands battleships with the same ease and grace as the Lifenian virtuoso. Never seen anyone quite like him. He is not one of those fools blindly chasing the glory of the past. The Sarkas is not the end, but merely the beginning of the end of the real battle. As for here and now, it's just Wellington who needs a decisive victory. The Sarkas have the shard. They have successfully fired it before. They could attack us or anywhere in Victoria at any moment. However, all war scholars deem any losses from Sarkas catastrophe attacks to be within acceptable limits. Those losses will not compromise our ability to achieve our strategic objective. The Sarkas have not refueled Londinium since it deviated from course. The city is immobile as of now. Once we take the pass at Silver Rock Bluffs, the Sarkas will no longer have the terrain advantage, and the allied fleets will have a clear path from Londinium. Indeed, if everything goes well, we'll be able to end this meaningless stalemate as quickly as possible. Yet the word stalemate isn't an apt description for the Sarkas and Victoria. Telegrams from the caster hold are increasingly impatient. One cannot fault our backers for it. War is far too expensive. A promise fulfilled too late is a promise unfulfilled. Are those the cannons of Gustwell going off? The Duke of Wellington's attack has begun, but it's not time yet. The quiz, what's that red light coming from a distance? Why is there a space whale? That light, it's coming from the top of the shard. Hey Wellington, right now, we must... Okay, it's time to fight together with Woods Island. Sorry to tell you. Ouch. Doctor, are you okay? Doctor will be fine. Once absorb the brunt of the impact. Where are we? The good news is that we fell into a canyon. Our precise location is uncertain, but we're at least a distance from the worst of the fighting. Closer Horn and Siege have gone out to scout our surroundings. We should be briefed on the specifics soon. We're still assessing our personnel and equipment losses. Preliminary reports indicate that pre-impact measures were effective and losses are acceptable. Medical and engineering units are already at work. I'm afraid there's been some troubling development. The sky, it's wet. What's your step and keep up with us, Doctor? This is fine. It does look cool though. It is always nice to see more art. You know, they have great artists and who does actually do all the music for Arknights? Do they, I guess they also have some in-house, right? Probably. I know that Mini has like a song in it. But I assume you also just, you know, hire other people for that. Suffering extends its reach to every corner that I can see. From the top of the shard, Wiltshire spreads like a plague, devouring, assimilating. Buildings, ships, armies. Wiltshire devours all and quickly expands. An unprecedented calamity indeed. One that puts even the most terrifying catastrophes to shame. And yet, an army marches through the boiling Wiltshire crystals, its tattered banner visible even from here. Suffering is but a marching order for the Sarkas. The ever-hungry procession of Sarkas advances to the thorns of Wailing, sinking their teeth and claws into any enemy they find. Bloodstained boulders litter the wasteland as far as I can see, looking decidedly out of place. I love my blood Stonehenge. The whipping winds have ceased, giving way to a rising fog. But the grass remains unstirred, yet countless tattered bandages already dangle across. Sarkas warriors stand in line, soundless and motionless, waiting for the embodiment of death and decay, master of war, their king. A withered figure emerges from the death-filled fog. On the hills he stands, though through the swamps he passes. Out of the fog he glides into wind and sand, rising from the withered grass, and up in the arch-ritual circle he descends. Tattered stripes of cloth fall to the blood-filled columns, like a bony hand caressing a tombstone. Only the most seasoned warriors recognize that the Nachtzehrer's tattered weapons, like the banners of Castel's wall, belong to generations of ancient Sarkas tribes. Their form ragged, the symbols recognizable, but the scent of war unmistakable. Dukavir, Regent's Crimson, Prince of Blood. We were never close, but the contribution that you and your blood made to the war is undeniable. I bear witness to your glory and shame. Slayer of the Faramut in the mist, Jailer of time, Usurper of the royal court, Executioner of kings. You denied the path that we now walk, as you denied the meaning of the Black Crown. But you gave your first and final drop of blood to the Sarkas. Your power shall not fade away, nor shall your anger, your hatred, your ambition. He spreads his arms wide. A black fog of decay rises, swallowing every boulder. Red fades into sand and dirt, vanishing into the mist. Warriors do not speak, but the earth begins to rumble as ancient witchcraft spreads across the battlefield. This is fine. War, we nourish you with our best. Their blood and bones at your behest. We are the living and the dead. Together we march as one. The fog dissipates. A top of blood forms at the tip of Nessalim's staff. It is the purest blood, the only blood that death and decay cannot touch. But it is Salus. We like Salus. This is the blood of Tikas. Actually, maybe I will take a small break so I can go to the toilet and get more to drink. So I'll be right back. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Won't go anywhere. Back, I did get more to drink. I got what is basically just sparkling water with kinda all kinds of fruit flavor. With all kind, what is actually in this? This is now more important than I guess Arknights. Meerfruchtsaft, okay, but what's in it? Red berries, mandarin, apple, strawberry. I guess it's a few things, but it's nice. Anyways, it evoked the call of Amnanam. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's the name. Amnanam. Okay, I guess it's right. But it was lost in the battle's art circles. Conversavi searched 70 of them without finding it. But Nassasinum, Your Highness, you have found it for the Regent. The top of that liquid drifts towards Salos and enters her wrist. Keep it safe, Conversavius. Of course, I want to protect it with all the strength of my bloodline, my life. Vampiric art circles are still active. What of the Sankanak of vampires? The purest bloodline, the cruelest of the Sovereigns, the pride of the Sarkas. We can make more of them. Did he really die so easily? At the hands of the young Banshee and the Rabbit. How are they so well informed who exactly killed him? He has not joined the Myriad Souls, but away has he drifted. What a shame to waste so much blood. Meddler of bloodlines, do not desecrate war and death with your flippant insolence. Apologies, Your Highness. I was merely lamenting the loss of the Sanguinarch. Then keep his legacy safe. His blood will continue the fight with us. And we serve the blessing or something. Of that I have no doubt, Sovereign of the Withered Court. The blood of Tikas will fulfill its duty. If a mere tremble of Amnanam is enough to burn the heaven red and bring upheaval to the earth, when its final descent shall free our fate from the manipulation of Originum, as the myriad souls have so longed for. Fate? War will crush all obstacles beneath its heel, even fate. The Deadwood throne rises, attended by innumerable war altars, casting a massive shadow on the battlefield. Silent columns of warriors step into the strange catastrophe, continuing their advance. Their advance before the storm. Both the living and the dead. This war belongs to all Sarkas. A new beginning. Ooh. You are a new Sarkas I have not seen before, and you have a fancy design. Okay, what can I say? Black and red is just good design colors already, and pink hair. They got me. Another quote from one of the Sovereigns, General? No. I was simply reminded of the furnace at the center of Castle. Ah, the big one. I witnessed many feedings before I came to Londinium. It's an honor for a fallen warrior to be fed into it, becoming the fire that propels our progress. but it never seems to be sated. Small wonder. The flames of a revenant's rage only burn stronger. Nadine. What do you call the magic city by the name of Castle your home? What is the meaning behind the question, sir? When the final battle has already begun. I was raised on the battlefield outside Castle. The black rocks and the bones of my fellow Nachtseher are the only things buried beneath the city walls and fields. Where's home, if not Castle? Yes. What other answer could there be? The future's lined with uncertainties, but this much we know. This war ends where a new beginning emerges. Have you made contact with Ulcelar? No. You're very full in mopping up Brentwood. Just as you predicted, our castles have picked up the trail of the Fairwood skeleton's movement. We considered attacking Rondinium, attacking the Shard directly. And gave them a chance. Far too many chances. There's no question that Major Ulcelar has been excellent in her duty. She had better have a good explanation, as she lives to explain. I've located the skeleton. I have a rough idea of its location. I will take time to find it on the vast battlefield. Should I take a squad there personally? No, I will. You will take the Fairwood's spine or destroy it. It must not fall into the wrong hands again. You're going yourself? Those mercenaries have interfered too much. They must be eliminated. Before that, though, we'll finish the ritual. Our Nachtseher ritual? I didn't think you cared much for tradition. Cyclops, Lich, Wendigo, Banshee. More and more have left. Maybe you did not really win that civil war after all. You've never seen these royal courts in Castle, have you, young Nachtseher? I suppose not. Other than the Nachtseher, it's mostly been vampires. Not the best neighbors, but you start to miss the smell when you spend enough time in Londinium. I mean, you can be for sure that they will never have a garlic breath. That's something. The blood of the fallen has returned to the earth. There will be no new prince of the Crimson Court. How many sour reigns do the Sarkas have left? Like 3. Logistics to command. We've encountered a catastrophe near Sophia Chasm. At least, I think it's a catastrophe. We're being drowned in the tide of Originum. The ship has lost power. Weapon systems severely damaged. All systems inoperative. Defense system offline. Response from arts unit. I repeat. All systems inoperative. Enemy spotted. Taking heavy fire. Mobile arts device. Psst. Data automatic record. None of these messages made it out. Entire communication system is scrap. I think that so many have died to protect this little metal box. I salute you. Let the bow hurt. I shouldn't take my hat off. Our foes are unpredictable, aren't they? There's enough intel about the Shard to fill an entire building. But you and I must take the blame for our present circumstances. The man in the hat looks down at his counterpart. The man on the ground lies motionless, buried to his chest in crystal-filled dirt. Yeah, I know, I think that man is good, but a little box that he clutches in his left hand remains spotless. Trilby Asher pulls the brim of his fallen comrade's hat down, having the face that no one knew to begin with. Man. Sad. But elsewhere, I guess there will be so many unnamed graves. Took a little more effort to retrieve the communicator, but war has made him a rather proficient undertaker. Intel received. Communications are still being jammed by serial interference. A little progress is better than nothing, I suppose. The Duke of Fife and the 6th Infantry Battalion were ambushed. A landing attempt on a Groomley plate has failed. Unable to reach the Duke of Godwin's scout fleet. Chudley has been lost. Large-scale unanticipated geological changes across the Silverrock Bluffs front Active original concentration above threshold. No good news. Are those troops? I decode this. My. What a miracle. I'm a lucky man indeed. Who is... It's a big sword for sure. A big sword that can actually take heads. But hey, actual gameplay, baby. Main chapters do at least tend to have a bit more than that. Then. But enemies also take damage from being in the stink. I mean... maybe put you like this and then we put main blocker here and it's beautiful for us. But yeah, with the team report it shouldn't be a problem. Nice music though. Want you here for sure. And then basically just get some healing going. Like this probably. And then we just set up all of our backrow and we're done. I don't see how... Oh, this is one cannot put down on. That makes sense. Actually, maybe... How about we lease the place first and get Terminix going? I do like having Terminix relatively in front, to be honest. It deals good damage. And you know... Oh... I just realized the Rhythm Storm is moving and it sucked up all... Okay. That's maybe a problem, actually. Mechanics. I'm a bit scared of my life. Okay, yeah, that's bad. Well, we still should be fine. Maybe I should think about how many healers I bring. But yeah, the Stormwills has passed us. Or kinda passed us. Maybe we'll just this. It would be nice to at least get Haruka back. But also we do not have a good spot to plop her down right now. Like if I plop her down right here, she will die again. Do you wanna move, Tornado of Doom? I guess maybe just forget that she ever existed. I mean, I could redeploy the Exo, but why bother? Stage is over anyways. Okay. Well, honestly, this was not as straightforward of a gimmick as I first thought if they did not give a tutorial, but just the storm moving through isn't too much of a problem either. I guess we probably really want monster, and so if like with a bit more healing, like if Haruka would have been fully set up, I think she can probably heal through that thing. 3 hours later. No sign of the Saka's troops. Lifeborn is a big target. You would have left an even bigger trail behind us as well. As we fell. I'm afraid that it'll catch up to us sooner or later. Rosa, can you confirm our position? Can only really get an approximate orientation with these maps I've got on hand. Damn it, no response. Since the skeleton quest, our comms from down with it. My drones can't fly too far either. I've never seen this much interference before. Meat, I think Atones has found something. Over there. What's this? A voice recorder? Makes sense, I guess. On a battlefield like this is the next best way to relay intel. Short of just shouting. That's the Duke of Caster's quest. Let me have a look. Secret Intel. Chapter 1. I'm short on time, so I'll make it brief. The Stone of the Sword has survived at Silrock Bluffs. But the Sarkas and the Twigs are worse than we fought here at the front line. My advice is head to the bell from the southwest, bring the sword. I have honored my role, so the rest is up to your highness. No change, no improvement. Can you tell your new Paul that if it doesn't get back on its ass soon, I'm going to break out our bones that's got left one by one? It's like that. Not like I can feel pain. I'll pick something more meaningful to vent about. The skeleton's voice was already ebbing. After the crash, it had stopped responding altogether. Nerve bundles are withering. We've tried everything we can think of. Lubricant? Okay, what the hell would you loop? Supplements. Even some crazy witchcraft I've never heard of before. A word like this? Right now, it's nothing more than a colossal and breakable skeleton. Can't be dead, can it? It's already dead Faramut. You're telling me it can die again? Hey, Venus, pass me the mine over there. The one wedged between the bones. Letty asked. Nearly sat on it. And also, what kind of psychotic idea do you have this time? Oh, just following your suggestion. I'm going to find a proper target to blow up. Isn't that old friend of yours supposed to be the skeleton whisperer or something? I'm sure she's still got an unbroken whip or two. We should be able to talk. Maybe. Well, she will if she knows what's good for her. Well, Solar, she does know plenty of the family's secrets. It's clear she hasn't told us everything. But I have the feeling that she won't be able to help with this particular problem. Right. The source of our troubles is with what's hidden in those dark red clouds above our heads. That's exactly it. The all-knowing Kal'tsit. Let me guess, we've got even more bad news for us. Regular catastrophes have no effects in Faramut, if it happens to be one that has been dead for several centuries. This was the shard, yippee! The tunnels that it tunnels in can even travel through time, so how is it that a storm can seal them off? What's happening here is beyond the scope of a mere catastrophe. As you're falling, I had a vague feeling. That the enormous ancient sentience remaining these bones had gone. Gone somewhere I could not touch. That is kinda horrifying, right? I died its true death? That's no... could it not have lived for like 5 more hours? Our connection with it has been severed. Might will be temporary. Or if we take too long, we might lose control over it for good. Deduction is correct. Up in his inspection, Locus confirmed that the Sarkas witchcraft cast up in the skeleton is being disrupted by a massive source of energy. It seems the vampire's ritual was completed. So I guess he didn't really care about it, because they figured once the ritual is going, it would be unusable anyways. That's my best guess then, right? Like, don't need to defend it, if it's not gonna be able to really do much. Actually, Kviarzat say it's aiding Vervises and has achieved what the Sarkas could not for millennia. Amnanam. An ancient wound that refuses to heal. A Kunabula of suffering. Okay, you know what? At this point, it's time to learn something, maybe. Hey, Iman, how you doing? Nice seeing you again. What is a fucking Onabula? What are we learning today? The earliest abode, original dwelling place. Some covers the first appears printed books. I see. Okay. We learned something today. Mind skipping the part we can actually understand? I don't have all day. It was the first curse. Thus it was the first Reginum. Isn't that just a legend? You know? The made-up kind in the storybooks that Theodore loves to read. Legends are a shadow of reality, despite all the untruths and half-lies painted over them. To say nothing of the fact that this is a Sarkas legend. A Tikas legend. Sounds to me like Vervises is cooking up some real serious beast shit to hang over Victoria. That is for sure. I fear that this too is the reason he chose Londinium as a space of operations. Shard's ability to influence catastrophes and Reginum is already sufficient for it to become Amnon's beacon. Across all of Terror, as it is now, this is the one place that it can descend. Well, out of it then. How do we wreck that thing? At Terra's current level of technology, there's nothing we can do. That is a terrifying thing to hear. What do you mean? You know what? We do not stand a chance. Fuck it, I guess. The only good news is that it has not yet fully descended. Have you figured something out, Locus? The drop of blood that the Empire possesses. The one he calls the blood of Tikas. It is still fulfilling its duty. The reason why Amnanam is able to leap across millennia and descend once more is because of his prayer. The blood's masters has fallen, but the connecting veins hold steady. If we are to prevent the reemergence of Amnanam on this land, we must break the vampire's curse, quelling the hatred that resides in this drop of blood. I think I can give it a try. I was plighted in battle with the vampire, and its influence on me has not yet waned. By virtue of this, I am able to sense where the blood of Tikas is. It is at the rear of the Nachtseher army. So we have our goal. It's not easy. We'll likely be protected in a Confessarius altar and heavily guarded. The amount of time required to break through the entire Nachtseher defensive line would be too much. We could cross the Vetmane Mountains, bypassing most of the war zone. Taking that route carries a similar risk to storming the battlefield. Observational reports indicate that the Vetmane Mountains have been completely transformed by Amnon's influence. We're now blanketed in active Reginum. We need not remind you of its extreme danger. But it might be possible. Shining has gone ahead to seek out Gvisor Tasche, and if things go well for her, she'll be able to come to our aid. I support the doctor's decision. It's a plan that saves us the most time. If we keep delaying until Amnon, Dr. Calcite speaks of completes its descent, and is used by Vervises as a weapon, then we have lost any chance we might have had to turn the tide. Even if there are risks, we must forge ahead. I'm willing to sacrifice. A few. I need your help, W. I need some hands to guard this pile of bones, right, Bunny? Right. The skeleton is crucial to our next operation. Besides, Hydra needs it too. There's no doubt that the military commission has been watching us ever since we crashed. The way I see it, it makes no sense to hand back something we fought so hard to steal in the first place. Give me a time frame. The time now is 1800. 3 days. The surrounding terrain has been completely transformed. We'll need to pass through a wasteland filled with unknown dangers. Given also the fact that battles with the Inevitable in our journey, I estimate at least 3 days to handle the blood of Tikas. That's gonna be kinda long, yeah? An immobile skeleton makes for an extremely conspicuous objective. Guarding this site will not necessarily be easier than the weight you carried out on it. I propose that Ascalon stay behind and help protect the Liveborn. But my job is to stay by your side and keep you safe, Doctor. I feel it. I wonder how she feels like if she actually would meet Favisa and Favisus again and also Manfred and everyone, right? So, on one hand, keeping her back might be for the best. During the Psychonauts attack, it was my error that led to your injury. A dangerous mistake I do not intend on repeating. Liveborn is vital, and Manfred is likely to order an assault. You understand him well. Yeah, you can spar with Manfred again. Have a nice duel. Equi. The Sarkas stood reliant on the commander personally overseeing the battle and making decisions. Be able to stem Manfred's advance, and it might relieve pressure on the mercenaries. I will respect your decision. What about a gang of useless Victorians? Are they going with you? Excuse me? They're capable enough. We will head to the front lines at Silverwood Bluffs. Wait, I think you want to lead just a couple thousand men? Some of whom are civilians, who had barely held any weapon. Straight into battle with the Nachtseher army? Yeah? We have your legend, Sarkas, and we have ours. We have the size of kings. A blade that can cleave catastrophe in twain. Since the Sarkas have controlled the storm, then it is time that the sword plays its part. You have been contacted by the Duke of Castor. An invitation to be precise. As we surmised, since the Sarkas started their strange doings, Victorians, or rather the Ducal Alliance, have been heavily hit. Castor, no, any Grand Duke out would have figured out exactly the kind of circumstance Victoria's found herself in. We've all seen those altars spewing that red light, or any light for that matter. As it stands, Londinium and all the battlefields surrounding it have become a giant art circle. This is how the Sarkas fight. Not like Lycanian, not like Ursus, not like any other nation's tactics that we are familiar with. It will be Asher will have told Castor that all the intelligence they have gathered so far is useless when it comes to Sarkas tactics. The size of kings. No longer will this piece of steel I hold in my hand be merely leveraged to get Castor back to the negotiating table. It will turn the tide of war, bringing true change to the battlefield. None of us knows when the next catastrophe will strike. I don't know what form Castor's Stone of the Sword will take. But no matter if it's a square room on wheels, or not contraption on an officer's back, I'll find it. We can quiet these storms, but I dare say that the battle will become somewhat more evenly matched. From Sophia Chasm to the front line at Silverwood Bluffs, it will take you 2 days, even if you follow the road that the Dukes have cleared from the westbound forest to Gibsonham. The Duke of Castor would be more than happy to snatch away the size of kings. If afforded the opportunity, it will allow her to lead the Dukes in this difficult war, and move her one step closer to the throne. And she will not be the only one attempting to do so. Yippee! You can trust not any of your allies. You're welcome. I'm aware. The Duke of Windermere has died in combat. Their troops have retreated from battle. If any other Duke withdraws their forces, the scales of war will be tipped even more against us. The war will drag on. Londinium's restoration will be delayed, and more blood will be shed. For Sarkas and Victorian alike, this is the battle that will determine our ultimate fate. Yeah, don't throw that one out, maybe. And as far as we are the exemplars. Wherever a miracle is needed the most, is where we will be. Besides, if this sword really can calm storms as legends say, I dare say it would help speed along your journey to Londinium after all this. Closure. And I was done with my preparations. To keep things short, The reliable Chief Engineer Closer and her team have come up with 7 different plans to get around the comms interference. This equipment of mine has also started analyzing the super catastrophe's transit impacts. Original triggered reactions always leave a trail, no matter how intense they are. Things like dust concentration, activity index, and then there's spread conditions. I'm sorry to say that all these metrics are pretty high, as expected, so we can tell what's going to happen in the most dangerous regions. We can deduce which parts of the battlefield are safer, relatively. That is, of course, we can go deeper into the heart of this battle and obtain more data. Mystery's agreed to be our bodyguard, but since you guys are already heading over to where there's most action going on, figured we might as well tag along. I mean, I also like just having Mystery around. He do be cool. So, could we topple the Exemplars to look after us? Gladly. We are duty bound. Making sure that things don't get any worse is Woods Island's mission. Right, Calcite? Thank you, Closure. Doctor? Let's both go with Amir. Our path might be the most dangerous one of all, but I'll keep you safe, Doctor. Just like always. I know you fear for the safety of each and every operator, which makes you hesitant to choose. But my daughter needs me for sure. But the truth is that I need you to come with me. So we can deal with the altar problem. There's no changing what we will face during our final confrontation. We're gonna look at Fevisa, which is gonna be funny. Witcham has shaped the history of the Sagas, just as it will shape the future of us all. Perhaps you still have misgivings about why Woods Island must intervene in this war. I did not have the opportunity to explain in the past, nor could I give you a precise answer. I have never doubted that the dark clouds above the shard concealed some dreadful unknown, but when it has revealed itself as it is now, I still find myself confronted by mixed emotions. I'm not one to explore the subject of fate, especially not yours and mine. But now fate has reared its head, is coming our way. You don't sound like your usual self. Wisham's effects are far beyond any of our comprehension. Even yours? Of course. Dr. Lyra, I hope that we survive. No, I believe. I believe that you are still the one who can change everything. I never had any doubts either. Doctor, I think I should get going now. Alright. You're gonna ask me for a 21 gun salute. Take care, W. Look, little bunny. I don't like the sheep over there. I'm real hard to kill. The Exemplars already. Glad to hear it, Siege. Remember, everyone, time is of the essence. Every minute, every second on this battlefield. Every people are suffering because of Originum. Our mission is clearer than ever. Stop Amanam. Right. And then we plunge into the darkest depths of the fog. To Londinium. We bombed that tower and kept Terra's biggest bastard out of the rubble. We'll stop the disaster before us, and any more yet to come.
너의 전술은 현대적인데 구상은 또 상당히 오래된 거라군. 넌 대체 어떤 사람이지?
Now we get a tutorial. That's spicy. I think it's the first time that they did a tutorial afterwards. But I honestly, other than, man, I did not realize how the storm works. It's not like that bad. Oh, that's also a new thing. Guess I cannot really see what it is. Is this where the storm... Can this eat the storm? It would be neat. I don't feel so good. There's a lot of activated Originum here. That's because you're in an area contaminated by Originum pollution. These are common on the battlefields in the outskirts of Londinium. Operators deployed in them will take continuous damage and have reduced SP recovery. Try to avoid them when deploying. Yeah, not having them on range tiles sucks for sure. What's that storm in the distance? It looks like it's heading towards us. That's an active origin storm controlled by enemy arts. It has the same effect as origin pollution, but even stronger. Active origin storm? Why is it headed our way? It seems to be drawn to the withered altar. But the storm expanded. Correct. It goes on when it absorbs the active origin in its path. You know, all things I did notice when you sent the mechanic onto me. In real danger here, Instructor. How do we deal with this? Calm down, Jessica. We can deploy a new withered altar in another direction to draw it away from us. Once placed, we have to deploy an operator to activate it too. Leave this to me, Instructor Doberman. High-risk jobs are my specialty. Huh. Okay, this is just basically deal damage and then it gets activated. And then you count as an enemy.
전투에만 정신 팔지 마. 다쳤잖아. 비키세요, 비키세요.
I mean, that's not too bad then. What happens if it reaches it though? That's... Does it just stay there? I assume so then. Walk. TBH Born Death. What tiles in the area are longer available for deployment? Oh, that could be very annoying depending what they are, because we already did not have too many there. Let's replace Sully with a monster.
필요할 때가 오면
I really also need to start investing more in Masterpiece again. "14 hours into the operation." The further we go, the more dire the situation becomes. Partially went canyons, diverted rivers, pathways that withstood the weight of great nomadic cities, now torn, distorted, warped beyond recognition. Maps of the past are now no more than scrap paper. Every trail must be charted anew. There's no doubt that the blood of Tika slides this way, though. Our bond yet hums. The closer I get to the heart of the battlefield, the higher the weight of that regiment equates with all information. The rocks, the soil, the waters, the peoples. Witchham's influence has its clutch around virtually everything on Terra. Perhaps we have long forgotten the fundamental principles of how it works. What do you mean by information? Yeah, so this is what was made to store everything. Perhaps you shall find out rather soon, Doctor. Or maybe, no, never mind. Objectively speaking, this original contained terrain does give a tactical advantage to Reese's military operations. In contrast, Victorian front is all but shattered. But the side of Richam activity still pales in comparison to the catastrophe strike earlier. Reese's will never use Originum so recklessly just to gain a slight tactical advantage. This much I know of him. He knows the consequences. Sounds like we're in for a difficult journey. There's a vehicle heading this way. Halt. The truck shudders to a stop as several familiar faces hold off. Oh, hi guys. Master Banshee and the Kings of Sarkas. I told you shouldn't have taken this road. You can run away now. Well, it's not like they're bad guys. Weren't you supposed to stay at the Lifebone? Well, I'll be honest here. Master Banshee, your highness, you were scared, terrified, having to stay inside that skeleton, not knowing what, who or what might come running over the hills to attack us, so we ran. I know that desertion is a crime, but we're never going to be any use, were we? So I beseech you, my lord, your highness, please don't execute us. Happily take the whip instead. How many lashings do you wish? Mentors want to be whipped, I get a feeling instead. I'm not going to execute you, and I never demanded that you fight for me. If you want to go, then you may go. Oh, thank you so much, Your Highness. You are wise and merciful, and... Can you feel go along with you? Shh! Say no more! I has already done us an incredible kindness by sparing our lives. You just demand more for? Don't be a fool, shopkeep. How much of a chance do you think the three of us and that broken trucks got? You probably get blown up by a bomb, or worse. Your Highness, this is my humble request. But please get us off this battlefield. I'll give you everything I have. As long as you cease to live, I'll swear my undying fealty to you. Yippee! I love my loyal subjects. You... No, that's not the issue here. You were to follow us. I'm sorry to say that it would be just as dangerous. What do you think we should do, Doctor? I feel like this is just mean in a sense. I guess it depends how you take it. But, you know, I'd imagine he will survive. Can't imagine he will survive the battlefield on their own. Very well then, driver. We can travel together for a while. After we pass through the war zone, we should leave Victoria once and for all. Thank you. My deepest gratitude. And please use our transport. It should carry us far enough. Okay, King of Sarkas, you are most magnanimous soul. I truly do not know how I could repay this kindness of yours. Man has studied the glaze. The coin. Huh? The coin I gave you. I completely forgot about that. Good thing I didn't drop it. Here, for you, my lord. I was willing to beg it of you. It was my honor to serve, Banshee Lord. How could I have expected payment for such a privilege? I think they're scared of you. I hope you don't think me a Misa. I need to ensure that they are not imposters. You need not fear. I hold no malice against you. Locust moves his finger, and the coin in his palm vanishes, until he appears in the shopkeep's hand in a heartbeat. The shopkeep stares, first at a hand capable of quaking the earth and shaking mountains with a single pen stroke, then at the coin in his own hand, and finally back at a deadpan Banshee, unsure of how to react. That's where you clap and go like, cool magic trick. What was that, a magic trick? How delightful. You're a man of many talents, sire. I better go help the driver start the car. Tough crowd. I saw Scout in our cars demonstrated several times. I could never quite get the movements right. It is my lack of skill that made for a lackluster effect. They're also just fucking terrified of you. Never seen that side of you. Doctor, there are times when I also regret the fact that many of our shared memories have disappeared into the ether. We never did talk about the past much. If we ever find ourselves time to reminiscence after this ordeal, perhaps you'll be pleasantly surprised by the anecdotes of your past. But for now, we must go. Now, what funny stories are there of the doctor getting drunk? Yes, no sound here. The stillness is strange. I can't hear the sound of our breathing or the vehicle's engine. I can't even hear my own heartbeat. Is this some kind of ritual arts? Could someone have blocked all sounds in the vicinity to conceal themselves? No, Amiya. Listen carefully. It's not that sound has forsaken this place. That is a great tremendous war, so great that it drowns out its lessers. It is the deafening cry of death itself. Look, over there! There's a floating man with a scythe. That leaf. The leaf hangs from the lowest branch. Its surface tinted with vibrant yet bizarre colors, like the work of a half-hazard artist or sunlight reflecting off a puddle of grease. Like the vestiges of some sort of arts. The swatting. Decay unhinges its maw, gnawing at all in its sight, leaving behind only iridescent bite marks. Within a few seconds, a sprightly yet strange coloration spreads across the entire plant, and even onto other bushes. Once succulent leaves become drips of foaming liquid, leaving behind only bare vein networks quivering in the wind. Just like a thin beast's skeleton after its flesh has been picked clean, unceremoniously discarded. The wind rises as if wanting to tear at their skin. It is the sigh of an unsatiated beast. Lucas, the marsh! Silver incantations flow forth, plunging into the depths of the marsh. Did he manage to stop it? No. The muffled sound of water sloshing ripples from this marsh echoing about in the deathly silence. The sound of a foot pulling from the ooze, then stepping down again, steady, unseen steps churn the muddy water, slopping it to the shore. Prepare for battle! See if I can see you, Doctor! It's just a friend, right? Just a friend. Black arcs shoot into the marsh, but a burst of sound quickly dies down as though it's swallowed up. The steps begin again, the rhythm unchanging, the resolve unyielding. A tattered hem floats above the surface of the water. The ripples crash into ripples, becoming a chaotic jumble of lines and shapes. Monster? Me. A dazzling beam of light spews forth from Monster's mouth, while the shining lens is lost amidst the dark swamp. The slow sloshing changes. It's Shrek with a big sword, I swear. A series of hurried footsteps erupt in the silence, and all lost sounds return once more, a brilliant cacophony, an ear-splitting din. You're really not gonna show us the face. Oh, okay, you do. Oh, And that sort of kind of Transistor vibes of being like green and red. I do like it. It's a cool sword. Death has come for you all. Stay back, you... whatever you are. Look out! Cage. A Sudaram. A burial shroud wrapped around the corpse. His body has already... what? His body has already written away. Conventional attacks will have no real effect. This is a form of witchcraft innate to the Nachtseher. Possibly. An ancient tradition. Nachtsehers devour life to nourish their bodies, but all bodies have an end. Once at the cusp of that end, powerful Nachtsehers will nourish weaker ones with their flesh, giving unfathomable speed and strength in return, alongside witchcraft energy that no ordinary body could bear. In doing so, becoming more powerful creatures, while their nourishment allows the Nachtseher society to sustain and grow. Just as fallen leaves nourish the land supports new lives. An eternal circle. What an art piece. Lat. Muddy waters of the swamp rise swiftly, like a current immersing the Nachtseher up to its torso. At the same time, incantations wend and weave their way around the group, holding back the Wat's incessant bite. Over there! Quick! We head into the forest. Don't step on the mud. With the swamp rising, or perhaps the mist sinking, the dark ground becomes a gaping mouth, trying to engulf all. The group struggles through the mire, each path growing more labored. They all will just be sunk into the swamp in the end. Singular thought ceases to collective mind. Living is a tedious and futile effort compared to the peaceful eternal slumber that awaits if they simply turned about and faced death. Yeah, that's not the thoughts you should be thinking. Monster, protect the doctor. He's here! The only sound they can hear is the whistling of the corroded plate as it swings down. Nachtseher. The one who walks alongside death has survived before them. No. My monster. Did monster also feel the pain? All life withers before his hands. That's terrifying. If you are caught in the Nachtseher's witchcraft, our life force will be sapped to become its nourishment. Wonder if the enemy will be like, the more damages the stronger it gets. Something like that sounds horrifying. He's fast. Did he come from the mud or top from a tree? Either is possible. From life to death, from blossom to wither. It warped the entire life cycle, turning into seeds to produce new Nachtseers. I can feel it. Unfriending flow of witchcraft energy flooding towards us. And not just the enemy before us. From the marsh, amidst the trees, it's everywhere. We've been wrapped in the Nachtseer's shroud. By his hands, death hangs above our very heads. Only by tearing apart this barrier of witchcraft can we defeat him. Miner, am I about to die? Yes. He's tired, shopkeep. Here, hold on to me so we don't get separated. Fire, hold my hand. Whatever you do, don't fall. She's fading out of consciousness. Can't hold her up much longer. Ordinary healing techniques won't help. Nachtseher witchcraft is devouring us all. Leave me. I only hold you back. You can let go of us. Man. It is kind of terrifying that I guess the Nachtseher power is just able to make them lose all the willpower to live, right? Even without apparently... I guess it kind of fits what the Nachtseher actually are in, like, mythology. Or, like, at least German mythology. I mean, I'm not sure if other countries have the concept, but I know that... Well, Nachtseher is German anyways. Is that basically Nachtseher are basically just creatures. Or more or less people after they die. Also taking their loved ones with them because they basically don't want to depart alone into the afterlife. Something, probably metaphor for, you know, any kind of plagues and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it kind of fits. I know that if it wasn't for us, you and Sir Banshee could fight more easily. No. I promised I would get you out of the battlefield. We end this together. Is that so? Good. Scent of blood that pervades the air. We'll survive and others' wounds. No, this blood is witchcraft. Huh? As in a vampire? As far as Nachtseers and vampires? I guess they're the dynamic duo. Thin fog of blood floats all around them. This is entirely different from the Prince of Blood's arts you witnessed before. It is subtle, like delicate strands of silk nearly smothered by the all-encompassing mist of decay around them. But it is these silken strands that slightly steer the stagnant air. Amiya, feel the flow of wind. We expose the weave of the shroud and locate its weakest point. Got it! Black art scatter before Amiya's body, condensing into a spear. Lucas raises his hand, pointing at the depths of the thick fog. Yes. Oh, herald of death. You resist the spread of the rot, but to no avail. In the end, death will claim your corpse. I've never once doubted that. Disperse. This giant blade falls, sticking into the soil like a gravestone. The Nachtseher shroud flutters and billows. In an instant, His imposing figure disintegrates, leaving behind only several tattered strips of cloth, gently falling to the ground. It's that easy. Is he dead? I can finally breathe. Clack, clack. It's the sound of a bone skipping against bone. I don't want to listen to that. A withered hand stretches out of the mud. Watch out! It fell apart? Looks like it to me. Ooh, when you become such a badass driver. Shouldn't we keep going, Your Highness? Yes. It's best we leave at once, before the Nachtseher reawakens and catches up to us again. I wasn't expecting a vampiric art circle here. It is still working. Those vampiric arts had suddenly appeared as we were fighting the Sutavam. Was it because of the circle? I'm afraid it's not that simple. I'm sure you're well aware, Mia, that those arts were cast by a vampire. Perhaps a descendant of a vampire. Assume that while the Sanguinarch has been taken off the battlefield, the gifts he bestowed will not so easily fade away. Doesn't matter. I'll do my best to put those corrupted lives to rest, as I've done before. Lucas, could you please assist me? Mia. I mean, it would help a lot if he could just get rid of them, right? Sound becomes ever clearer, coming from behind the bloodstained boulders. It is the sound of limbs staggering across the ground. Sound that I've heard countless times in previous battles. Amiya notices the expression on Logos' face. He looks not at the stone columns, but at Amiya, a trace of emotion flitting across his eyes. The sorrow. Amiya recognizes it instantly. She has felt sorrow countless times since the war began. Sometimes from an enemy, but mostly from her companions. Twyver. I don't think Twyver's long for this world. Your Highness? When did it happen? Was it when we were fighting the Nachtseher? Yes. When we left the skeleton, I poured along a rock that the military commission had ordered us to transport. I thought since it made us stronger before, it might come in handy in a battle. Really did help, right? Never dared to imagine I could fight alongside you and defeat that strange enemy. It was the blood crystal left behind by a vampire. Did you pierce your body with it? No, I would never do such a drastic change. We swallowed some fragments. Man, I love eating rocks. You're willing to accept that Dura kills blood and arts. I've always had a vampire bloodline, even though it's pretty faint by now. The crystal sends a Sanguinarch's call, even if it felt nothing more like a whisper. I've seen those worms crawl out of Sarka's corpse before, so there's no need to pity me for not knowing the consequences. Instead of dying in the gutter like a real worm without so much as a yelp, I'd rather accept this power and die on the battlefield like a real Sarkas. This is the spur of the moment decision. A few months ago, while driving aimlessly to the wilderness, I just decided, you know what? I'm fine with dying for the cause. I heard a podcast about what was happening in Londinium, and somehow, just drove all the way here. Jockey says I read too many stories about knights. That's rubbish. Everyone knows the castle doesn't need knights. I don't know, there was maybe too many stories of people sacrificing themselves. Just wanted to know if there was a real path in life that I could follow. One with a proper end. If I could give some meaning to my life for just wasting it. And then I met you. The path of the King of Sarkas is the path for me. We fought alongside each other on this path. Like you said, the end is together. And now, the fighting stopped. At least for now, my bodies are still alive. Your Highness, you can deal with me as you see fit. I think it is a mercy to end you properly, right? Deal with you? What are you talking about? Twyver, why have you become like... You're scary, aren't I? Your Highness, please, I beg of you, help her. And Lord Banshee, sire. I humbly return this coin to you. It is the only thing of worth I have. Witchcraft is a trigger condition, not a cause. There's nothing I, Amir, even Dr. Kalsi could do to reverse the changes. Then what are you going to do? Don't tell me you're going to kill her like you killed those red worms. Sanderscheid's shopkeep. This was my decision. Your Highness, I heard that. Past the greatest warriors of the Sarkas, right before they died, could request that the king grant them a vision. I don't know if I count or not. No, right in time to stress out Mia and to give her more trauma. Mia raises her hand. Black arts coalesce at her fingertips. A desperate smile emerges on the driver's face as he unconsciously looks at the top of the Countess's head, searching for the legendary black crown. My king, what will I see? I just hope. Don't be me driving that piece of junk around Castle. Driver, can you tell me your name? Yaviron. This is part of the 72. Well, if I knew your name, it would be a lot easier. Marilla. A common name. Marilla. Sorry, I never stayed in Casimir so long. Some pronunciation might be off. Oh, it's good. It's been so long since anyone called me my name so gently, ever since my mother died. Marilla, I refuse the request. You won't grant me a vision? I suppose I was a warrior to begin with. No, that's not it. I refuse to let you die here, by my hand, Marilla. You have not become the vampire's creation. Your looks have changed. I don't sense you becoming any more evil or bloodthirsty. Even if you are showing a bit more of your ancient bloodline, you're still you. You do not deserve punishment. Nor should I be the one to give you your honor. You're the king of Sarkas. Please, call me Amir. That's Amaya. I've had my share of worries because your team, isn't comprised of Wolf's Island operators. I was thinking earlier about how we could get along with you three, but in truth, it wasn't a problem at all. If you wish to fight alongside us for our common goal, I welcome you with our open arms. Young Countess keeps her arms outstretched, her blue eyes blinking. Sarkas grasps her slender fingers. Despite not feeling much sorrow, tears of scarlet tears still flow down her cheeks. Wouldn't it still solely kill her though? Are you watching Amir? He's changed a lot these past 3 years. He's become more mature. The core of the vampire's ritual has changed. It's no longer just a tool to amplify the strength of the Sarkas, nor a simple collector of energy. It's deepening the Sarkas bloodline's bond of originum with Amnanam. The blood of Tikas is playing a role in this somehow. The strength of the Sarkas bloodlines acts as a direct catalyst to the originum spread. In turn, information within originum empowers the bloodlines, changing their powers and other traits. The effects of this art seems familiar. Lin's house merged a lot of bloodlines. We must be ready. The threat that Amnanam represents may very well be far greater than anything we expected. They will mutate into ancient, powerful beings. Hammer and Anvil vanquished.
빛이 부족하다고? 괜찮아.
Sarkas
내 머리 위
Ritter
형광등이
Aegis.
나아갈 길을 비춰줄 거니까.
Elite Guards of the Nachtseher King.
말이지만
Legions, the Aegis of Hel enforce a wall of ultimate protection and sacrifice. So, I mean, I feel like keeping it here is the best thing we can do. Right? Let the storm be there. It's awful, but it is what it is. But Veils at least shouldn't suck up too much. I mean, having this view would be so much nicer for the storm. Hell, if he would have more of those things, we could first suck up the tiles and then move it. But I guess this is a faint fantasy of mine.
박사, 여기 경치 좋다. 그치?
This is a
몬스터, 좌표에
nice
도착했다.
place for you for now.
실력 발휘해볼까?
It's a bit overkill, but I might maybe also want Haruka here, and then we just fucking out-heal everything that will ever hit us. This don't need that yet. Up. Something like this for sure. Yes. Having two healers down just means we waste so many unit slots. I think we put you here for sure. I mean, maybe once Haruka is fully online, we can get rid of monster. But I'm not thought of that. Probably want to put you down. They are lining up obviously there on the side, and I'm spooked. Got you.
어디에서도 찾을 수 없. 지금부터 싸우는 아이돌이지. 얼음과 눈이 녹아 사라지네.
이 정도로 멈출 거라 생각하지
Do something? I guess you do something like this for now. Adding more targets for Lemon is the best, probably. But yeah, those are fancy shields. Guess we can. I really don't see these to move it though. Guess we could have moved it in the back and just defended on there. Actually, can we? We can. This must be on the ground. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like the original solution that you intended to use is just put it there. You have this tie to even trigger it and everything. I guess kind of interesting gimmick. It's like not complicated, but it changes how you deploy overall. Haruka would be fully healing now. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I wonder if we get even more gimmicks to it later on then. But hey, still kinda overpowered to what the game is for. As I also didn't look what the recommended level is, but it's always so low at new story chapters, and I guess I kinda understood it when they do it like for the first few chapters of an arc or something like that, but eh? "23 hours into the operation." The route ahead has been cleared. I continue scouting the Sarkas army's movements. I haven't found any trace of them yet. Thank you, Mr. V. Continue to set up the sentry posts. Morgan, found any surviving Tauren soldiers there yet? I'm afraid not. Nothing but original crystals here. I haven't run into any Victorian troops, corpses, or wrecks since we entered the westbound forest. But I guess they all got eaten. Damn it. Why can we tell there's been a bloody huge battle? So where have all the people gone? The terrain here keeps changing. Maybe the ground ate them all up? We cannot underestimate the tenacity of the people. It's only because there are those who refuse to give up that the exemplars even exist. It's why we're here in the first place. Trevor, keep the medics ready to receive any army remnants and civilians. They've got extra supplies, so no need to worry on that front. The bad news is that with so many infected among our troops now, It's almost impossible to distinguish between infected and infected soldiers. I'd like your professional opinion on that matter. What does think the infected help our men or not? Funny you should ask. I just think the infected might have been the first thing they taught me at the military academy. But where we stand now, I'd say there's no real sense to it. I see. Then let's stop registering them. Let's try your best to provide everyone, infected or not, with Ford's Island's recommended protective measures. Well, I guess you can't just be happy that you end up infected or dead in circumstances like this, huh? The rest is not up to us anymore, at least for now. Let's all focus on surviving this war first. Then we can worry about the wars to come. Hey, it's a nice delivery drone. Oh, my drone's back. Oh, awful. The entire propulsion system has been cluttered up by crystal dust. Based on monitored data, vital origin mode concentration is still fluctuating wildly. Send me that data you just got, Rock. We've got a new iteration of our origin activation trend model. I want to see if our calculations fit real-world data. Looks like there's not enough data to do that. The trend of this curve. Let's wait for Victor's team to finish off that defectometer analysis report. Then we should be able to calculate the safe areas in real time. This place freaks me out. It's like 1 minute it's deadly quiet. Next, there's some terrifying origin mountain pushing its way up out of the dirt. Safe areas keep changing. Also, we've managed to re-establish short-range comms after working our asses off. We could even a step out of range. All that interference lets us get in the way again. Good thing I planned ahead and asked Radiant for our arts unit before I left for Londinium. After a little copy and paste, I made a knockoff version. It's not as good as the real deal, but it should help. Let's go. That's why she's the goat, not even IS, I guess. She helps every time. It's insane to me how often she got mentioned before she actually got to be a playable operator. Once you've got these portable communication source up, you'll be able to transmit the locations of the safe areas to anyone on the battlefield who needs them. This information will save many lives. Yeah, that's what Ford's Island does. On. Status update. We successfully arrived at Gibsonham. Celeste's supply point before we reached the front of Silver Rock Bluffs. Reconnaissance team already made the initial scouting report. Looks like there are traces of the Ducal armies here. Must have passed through on the way to the front a few days ago. I think we can confirm at this point that the route Phil B. Asher provided is safe. Is there anyone in town? The streets are empty. I can sense the flicker of shadows and the smell of food. We decided against contact to avoid unneeded misunderstandings. Understood. I'll rendezvous with you as soon as we can. It's getting dark. Seems like everything's going smoothly. As we let our fighters get some rest and some hot soup in them. I want to save some for my team. Taking a while longer to get back after the work is done. Pocock and I still have to head over to Feist. Not sure if we'll be able to double our communication range by nightfall. We'll do our best to finish ASAP. No need to worry. We'll save the best for you people. It also has the same canned provisions though, right? Would you like some engine oil for dressing then? Delicious, that's how I love my salad. Oi! All units, continue onwards until you reach Gibsonham. Hope things can be as peaceful tonight as things are now. Well, it doesn't look too bad. All the houses seem to be empty. Have the Westerns gone into hiding? Gibsonham's not far from the Duke's defense line, so I doubt the Sarkas ever fully captured it. Not to mention that the Ducal army was passed through a few days ago. Bunch cautions rounded though. Maybe some scattered ducal troops who want to reconvene with the main army and decide to camp out here first. Also, it will be Asher's helping us out with his advice. Victoria's never exactly been a model for unity. Not to mention the complicated nature of the exemplars. I dare say there are a few old-fashioned military nobles who would rather not tolerate our very existence. I see. Let's show them the full scale of our forces. It will deter those with ulterior motives, not anyone who needs our help or our arrival. The rumbling of turning tanks reverberates through the quiet night. The low roar of the engines forceful yet steady. The soldiers cautiously advance, observing the surroundings, but still, all they see are pitch-black windows and doorways. Yeah, you know, if I would be a civilian that's somehow still doing fine, they're just hide in the basement. Doesn't look like they want to make first contact. That's fine, as long as it means we can get along. Wait, I hear something. From the building to the front and left. That's the sound of artillery shell casings falling on the ground. Ambush? On your guard, everyone. Lead a team to scout ahead. First squad, second squad, follow my lead. See, it was some kind of tuner falling down. There were signs of life in the abandoned factory. Contrary to the expectation, there's no sound of an explosion following the fallen casings. Are you sure that was fallen casings, Horn? Absolutely sure. It's a special model only allocated to elite Victorian troops. No traces of anyone living here. Don't move, Siege. She carefully puts her foot down, back to where it was. One points at a thin tripwire, barely visible against the ground. Nicely concealed. What, with the surrounding piping obstructing the view? Real tricky to spot. A booby trap? No, it's not linked to an explosive. Just a simple alarm system. Because now they've installed it. I'd say they're military. We try to initiate contact. Yes, everyone, get behind us. Prepare to engage. Hello, we don't mean any harm. The unit's called the Secret Passage. Get ready to enter. Stay behind my shield. Well, we found some of the bosses. Halt! You're not. Seem friendly. Help! Oh, bagpipe, let's go! I knocked over some spent ammunition while on watch. How could they have heard from so far away? They avoided your alarm too. You soups. I don't think they're any ordinary. She can't block your pile driver spare? It's time to hark. Look at them. Captain? And Siege too? It really is you, Fiona. Oh. The lady with long red hair suddenly forced herself into the arms of her captain. So, you were alive all along? Wonderful. How wonderful! Horn gently releases a bagpipe from her embrace, then claps a hand on her shoulder. Good to see you in one piece, and in rather good shape too. I make my report now, Captain. I've done it. I managed to extract the intelligence on the Spectre Force, and I can what they are planning now. I survived. I got my memories. I got the truth, and I stayed alive. Your orders. I never forgot a word of them. Good to hear. I knew you could do it. I always knew. Welcome back, bagpipe. Hey, jeez. You're not. Everyone, me know you no harm. It's alright to come out. One by one, soldiers emerge from the shadows. The elderly, children, the sick, and the wounded. Civilians. Hundreds of pairs of eyes stared Siege and her men in fear and curiosity, taking their measure. Not with the ducal armies. Most of you aren't dressed like Victorian soldiers. In fact, you mostly look like workers to me. That's right. not under any of the dukes. They're called exemplars. She was counting up the civilians who were hiding in the factory and giving them a checkup. All you can say at the moment is that it's looking better than we expected. Aside from those infected soldiers under the Duke of Five, came along with you, and a small team of military engineers under the Duke of Normandy, and also those local civilians who couldn't escape. What are they gonna do with them? On one hand, I think leaving behind them would be probably safer, right? But you would still need to keep somebody behind to also protect them. The Ducal Alliance armies came to here a few days ago, but they rather give up a chance at being rescued than seek help from the Grand Dukes. It's understandable why the soldiers would avoid them. They either worried about the status of the infection, or worried about a court-martial. As for the civilians, perhaps this was the year the people living around Londinium got to reassess their country and those decorated tie-ups. Bagpipe, how did you manage to get their trust? Are you listening, Bagpipe? Hey, Captain. Need to pay attention during tactical meetings. The map's on the wall, not my face. Please, I was happy to see you. Sorry, Captain. One lets out a small sigh. I really shouldn't be asking. You're Fiona, after all. I'm just a wee bit glad. Exemplars, the Tempest platoon's predecessors. I guess the rumors were true. Actually amazed that you still remember what you learned in the military history class. Well, of course. I was at a training camp. Triangle made sure I committed this fact to memory. Out by the training field, the sycamores were full of leaves blocking the sun just right. Then there were the rocks at the top of the cliff. Others were rocks. And will sting if you try to climb them. How is chapter 14? What do you mean you don't remember? How do you not remember? I mean, it's not like I'm super far in, but I like it. I like it. It's all coming together probably. I'm terrified of whatever the Amanon will be. It was ages ago. Man. It was like a month ago, right? Right? Or how bad do I need to feel? Well, in like a year, I will be caught up, and then we can just always talk about the news story. It will be a great time then. But I like it. I also like the gimmick so far. I'm not sure if it's all, but yeah, since you said you didn't remember, it's basically just active original tiles that damage you and make you gain SP slower, and then also the storm that you can move around. So it's fun. It kind of changes a little bit how you position. Doesn't look too hard yet, but eh. But yeah, I cannot see how chapter 14 wouldn't be like peak, since it is a climax of so much, right, that we have built up. Like, imagine once Amiya actually stands in front of Havisa. Then we will talk. Remember when Cello and Oboe had a wager on who could complete the rock climbing training course the fastest? We decided to do 100 one-handed push-ups. Bo was a right fool. Who would have taken that bet with Cello? Chachi does not know. No. Maybe you should have reminded him back then. We were even sitting on his back the whole time he was doing those push-ups. He was helping him with his training. I see, it turned out alright in the end, eh? He was just a hair behind Cello the next time. Also, I'm not sure if I'm crazy. It might have also been a bit since the last time I actually have seen Bagpipe in the story, but Did they, like, write her speech more Scottish now? Or am I just crazy? I mean, it's fine, but I feel like there wasn't not that much of an accent before in the writing, but maybe I'm stupid. I have Lisa's dead. She died in Barbara. No, she's there! I saw her! I saw her walk! I've seen her. I can still hear her voice. The Exemplars. When the Tempest Platoon was first established, nothing was left of this legendary unit from the War of the Four Nations. Not even its unassigned unit ID. But now, it has returned once more to the battlefield. We're all members of the Exemplars now, Bagpipe. As long as our team is still here, we'll never stop fighting the good fight. I did win if we were Regent. Let's go! Conquerors. Isn't there a strategy meeting in sight? Are you standing out here in the cold? Just wanted to clear my head for a few minutes. Did you think I was someone else? Baird, no, not really. I am kinda hyped to play mostly the Spire on Thursday. I believe you. If someone suddenly popped out of the fog tonight, I wouldn't have any expectations either. Not everyone is as lucky as Horn, uniting with the person they most want to see. Luck, eh? That's a luxury around here. There's enough blues for tonight. We should head inside. In a sense, it's a bit sad that once you're 5 people... I mean, you still have options, but honestly, it's also sounds like fun to maybe do some funny stacking. I feel like stuff like having multiple silence or... I forgot. How did it? Necrobinder. She's called Necrobinder, right? Like all the Necrobinders and stuff like that in Second Doom and stuff like that sounds kinda overpowered, especially the more people you get. We could probably convince the Goopers. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, Rusty. Imagine if 5 people just go Poison or Doom. But yeah, we can also ask the Goopers. I'm not sure if everyone would be up for it, but hey, asking doesn't cost anything. We should do grouping soon again. Maybe we'll ask for next week. I will see. I guess it kinda sucks that we'd have to do it on weekends now with Jay's schedule, but maybe we can still do something. There's enough blues for tonight. We should head inside. Wait. Victorian soldiers? The remnants who stayed behind. No. Can't be. I never noticed them until they got this close. The elite of the elites. Caster's men? No, they're not Velby Ashers. It's positively frigid out here. My hands are frozen stiff. The days really are getting colder as they go by. Why? Only taking a little jaunt and my full plates already half soaked through. It's Gottolden, I forgot. I did not remember immediately who you were, but you are the Duke of Gottolden. My young friends, won't you invite me inside to warm my hands for a spell? That is probably... I think it's probably one of... is it the Duke I dislike the most? Is a good question. It might be. Since you've come all the way in person, I suppose we should show you some courtesy. Griffin? Yes, Rena. Let's show the Duke the way.
전부 사냥했다.
Okay. Then I think this is where we stop. We didn't make it far, but it's a start. The latest I will stream more of this on Friday for sure. Tomorrow I will stream with Olsey. Maybe I will also do afterwards a bit more Arknights, but I will play some Weapon and Steel with Olsey tomorrow. That will be fun. Yippee!
박사님, 집무실에서 방송하는 거 허락해 주셔서
Okay, we can see some gun, but that's what I really live for while I look for somebody to wait. And on Thursday there will be some nice Slate Aspiring with 5 people. One of them being Dimas Disa. Is anybody I really care about streaming? I guess it's not the Arknights, but no, I can pretend that I like Linda's company, and it's nice to see people suffer. So we will wait Vito up. But yeah, thanks for watching. Tilling's Turbo was peak at least, and see you guys around. Bye bye.